Hey campers, Georgia, back in the man cave. Just got back from a great walkabout, had a good trudge out there, got to see a lot of stuff, and I showed you something. Let's check it out. Hey campers, back out hiking, trudging, walkabout. This time we're at a small little park in Rice County. I've been here before. It's a nice little hike park. Little stream running through it. All the good things you need to have a good day. And of course, the crows. There's a whole bunch of them. They seem to be moving off. It's probably a good thing. But as you know, when I go walkabout, I got me something to show you. Another sharp and shiny. Let me get it for you. Is this guy. See that? Yep, look at that. It's an old timer. I got one the other day online. I'm sure you saw the video. It was the Bearhead Trapper. And I really liked it because it had a little bit of extras. It was a little bit different. But mostly because it was so old school traditional, very typical of old timer. It's how you recognize these guys. And I really liked it. I thought it was a very nice knife. So I went back and had a look at what they had, and lo and behold, I found another one just like it, kind of what I thought to be the big brother. And it was a little different, same sort of thing, same style, everything like that. You can't mistake that style. And it had the little extras that I liked on it. The difference was, and I didn't realize this at the time, it came with a sheath this time. This guy, which kind of surprised me. It was a little bit more expensive than the Bearhead Trapper. And I was wondering why. And I thought it was bigger. But you know what? It's the same size. It came in a box that was 4 times bigger than the one that came on the other one. I was like, this thing's huge. It looked really big in the box when it arrived. And I pulled it out and had a look at it, and I was like, wow, it's basically the same size. It's a match. It's kind of a twin brother with a twist. So like I said, it came with a sheath. It's a nice sheath, good leather, nice and thick, solid, has a nice little snap on it here. It says old timer on the front there, and if you look carefully on the snap, it says old timer as well. Very cool. And it just has your regular belt loop on the back. But here's the knife, and here you are. There it is there. And looking at it just like this, first look I was like, it's the same thing, except it came with a sheath. Did I mess up? So I had a closer look at it. But I want you to look at this thing. It's well made. There's no gaps on the liners or anything like that. It's pretty solid. And of course, it had the things I was looking for. The tweezers and the field spike. That's what I wanted. It has the old timer badge on it. You can see it there. Very nice. It has the sawtooth handle, which is a little sharp. And if you remember on the last video, I just got some really fine sandpaper and just cleaned up the edges. That takes care of it, no problem. It has these brass pins on it, and the brass bolster, well, I think it's nickel silver actually, but it looks brassy. Nice big bolster for the pivot points. Very nice, very nice. And not disappointed. I opened it up. These don't have a half stop. This is the clip, and it is a California clip. And if you look on there, you know, it says the old timer on there, and it has a part number or something there, and then the actual model number. And this is the 97ot. So very nice clip on it, California clip. And if you wonder why it's called a California clip, I had to look that up. I didn't know why, and I'd heard of I know about a California clip, never knew the reason why. Well, if you look at the shape of California, the state, like that, it actually looks just like that. So that's where it came from. Some useless information for you. Very nice, feels sharp, nice long sweep on the clip. You can see it in my hand there. And it doesn't, like I said, it's doesn't have a lock on it, just like any traditional knife. And the thing I like about these guys is it's stiff. It doesn't just flop back in there. You got to push it in, and then that last quarter snaps it closed. So it's fairly safe, just what you want on a knife like this. And then I looked at the other blade, and yeah, what I was hoping, there you have it there. Look at that. A saw blade. Very nice. Look at that. Now the interesting thing was when I tried to open it first time, if you look at the blade, there's no nail neck. And it took me a while. And by the way, a nice touch for the saw, it actually has a liner lock. You see this brass piece here, and it says press. If you press that in, it releases the blade. So you got to give it a good press, and it closes just fine. How you open it is, if you look at the top here, the blade sticks out ever so slightly, and that's where you just catch it with your finger, pull it open, and it snaps in. Very nice. One thing I did notice, which was a little disappointing, is there's a little bit of play in this blade, just slightly. I don't know if you can see that. And I looked at it, and unfortunately what it is that the liner lock, this brass liner lock here, is 1/16 of an inch, maybe less, too short. And I was wondering, I wonder if, well, no, there's no way to lengthen it that I can think of. Is it a problem? No, the blade sticks in there really well. You can't, it doesn't unlock. And if you have a look at the blade, you look at those teeth, this is a pull to cut. Pulls this way to cut. You can see by the teeth on there. Pretty aggressive teeth. One thing that you have to be aware of when you buy something like this, typically you see it a lot on, trying to think of the name, the correct name, a big knife, kind of a jungle chopping knife. I'll think of the name and I'll put it up here. One of those days, what can I tell you? You'll see those blades, and the blade is down here, and then they put that saw tooth along the top. Same thing here. If you look carefully at this blade, you see that? The teeth are exactly lined up with the edge, the thickness of the blade. They don't really split very much. Well, very little. In fact, I can't even see anything sticking out the sides here. The problem with that is when you saw in, after a while, the blade starts to bite on the wood, and it kind of sticks. I don't know if it's going to happen with this, and we're going to find out. So this is it here, and here you can see it open there. Very nice. I'm hoping you can see this, because I'm looking directly into the sun here. It's very nice. It's a nice knife. It's as good as the other one, just got that little bit of play on the blade, on the actual saw blade, but everything else is great. I really like this. It's a nice size, and of course this one came with the sheath, which made it a couple of bucks more expensive. And like I said, I thought this one was bigger than my old one, the other one that I got, the Trapper. It's the exact same size, and I'll put the dimensions up here for you. You got the clip, and you can see it there, fully open, and then closed. So exactly the same as the other one. It's a total match, which is very cool. The problem is when I put them together, I got to look carefully as to which one I want to use. If I'm looking for the saw, I got to look carefully. And the easiest way to see it is obviously you've got that brass liner lock on it. The steel, there you go, stainless. It's okay. Got carbon in it, a lot of carbon in it. You need that, give it some strength, especially with the saw blade. It's not brittle or anything. It's typical for traditional knife makers, fairly inexpensive when compared to other tool types, tool steels, but very common. So I don't have a problem with that. I just love this style. It's so traditional, you know, it's the granddad knife. Tweezers in it, and yes, they came flat. I actually put that belly in the tweezer there so that I can get more grip on the front. Trimmed off the front here because they weren't lined up. I don't know why they did such a poor job on that. I don't know what they were thinking there. It wouldn't have taken long to clean it up. And then on the other side here, you've got your field spike. Comes to a nice sharp point. And of course it's got that brass header on it. Very cool. We have to go and test it, right? Let's go find a piece of wood and cut it. Saw it, cut it, whittle it. I need to make something, so I figured this was a good opportunity for me to make it because I need it for another project. So let's go and find a piece of wood. Well, here's a piece we could cut up at least. I don't know how good the wood is. We'll see when we cut it up, and maybe we can use that to make a thingy that I need. You know, a thingy. This looks like a good piece. Let's see what damage we can do with this saw. It's locked in. I'm going to cut it off here. Oh well, I don't need that, so let's cut it off. Stick it in there so it's braced. It cuts in. And like I said, it is a pull cut. You can see there. Cut it just fine. Not bad. Huh. Let's cut it again. Why? Because we can. Now this side is wet, so I can feel it sticking. But that's because the wood is swollen, and of course you don't have the width on the teeth. But let me get it. I mean, the wood was wet, so it's sticking to it. I wonder if this will work. Well, we'll find out with the knife. I did find another piece. I think this is a better piece of wood than this. This is kind of crumbly. Let's just check it quickly. So you got to remember, you're working with a slip joint. This is not really a whittling knife, but I figured this is a good way to test it. And you can see here it slices in just fine. Slices that, no problem there. That's not surprising. This is a slicing blade, so the only reason it wouldn't make a good whittler, it's just too long. You can do some delicate things. The problem is, look how far away I am from the wood, and you have less control. You want a shorter blade. A sheep's foot, probably a Warrenclyffe is my favorite. But you know, when you're trudging around the bush, just having some fun, enjoying the outdoors, and you want to whittle something, you can cut a piece of wood off, and here we are. We be whittling. What are we whittling? You hear that? It's got a big crack in it, so when I'm doing it, it's slapping. Yeah, this is not going to work for me for what I need it for, but look at that. I mean, this gets through this no problem. And you can get close like this and use it that way, with controlling with your thumb. You have better control, controlling that pressure and the speed of your cut by using your thumb to push it. So it does that just fine. Let's try this other piece. I want to see if it's going to work. Like I said, I need a piece for a project. So I'm just going to take the, I want to get the bark off of this. Just scrape that off. I need working space. I need somewhere to hold it while I do the whittling. So I'm just taking off the bark here because I just want bare wood. Hopefully you can hear me above these crows. I thought they were leaving. They're worse than Mary. Okay, so I've got this now. I want to make some little notches and things in it, so let's do that. So I'm just kneeling by this log that's lying here, and I'm going to use it as a work table, and we'll do some whittling. Well, we're going to make something. So the first thing I want to do is just round off this edge here. Actually, I want to round it. I wanted to make it almost pointy. I also don't need it this thick, but we'll see. So I'm just reducing it here. No problems there. I should really put a stop. No, I don't want a stop cut. I just want to make it a little bit rougher than that. I don't want it to be perfect for reasons you will find out later. Not in this video though. Like I said, I'm working on a project, so, and this is for the project, so it's not too pointy. Just like that. And I want it about that long, so you want to go there. So I have my mark. And then about halfway, about there. I'm going to put a stop cut. We can make it a little bit more accurate. So I just lined it there to start my stop cut. And I want to put a V in here, a V notch. So I'm just going to work straight into the stop cut. This is not doing too bad. Wow. Got the one end, now to do the other end, and this is where it gets iffy because I don't have anywhere to grip really. But we can be careful and just go slowly. Look how that slices in. Wow. I'm just going to work around really slowly like this. See what I'm doing there? Let me get closer for you. Hopefully you'll be able to see now. So I did really rough cuts in there just to get the V. Now I want to round it off more. To do that, I've got to get rid of all those big cuts. The way you do that is you just do small little cuts as you rotate around, and you'll get rid of those sharp edges, and it cleans it up nice and round. You can see the difference on this side here versus how much smoother this is. You can see you got some heavier things here. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, try and make it as even as possible, going all the way around. Can you see that? I now have that round reduction there, all the way around. Now I want to do the same thing there as over here. So I'm going to just cut this off. I want it to be the same. Actually, that's even too big. We're going to have to reduce it, but we'll do that. Now, I can use the saw to cut this, or you can just do what I call the rose cut. And that is, you just go in like this, all the way around. You just work your way around, going deeper every cut. Like this. And you just keep going in. And you always remember, you never cut towards yourself. So you can see what I've done there. See that? I just dug into it. Now I can just pop it off. And there's your rosebud. Now I want to do the same thing like this on this side. So I'm going to do that quickly. It's getting small now, harder to hold. And when you're old like me, my hands tend to cramp up after a while and I have to stop and rest a little bit. But let's see if we can get through this. Needs to be a little bit more. Make them about even. And that is what we're looking for. Just a simple, what I call a little toggle. You can see it right there. Pretty cool for another project. So there you go. You can really, if you want to, whittle with just about anything. Blade shape, you're just going to be really limited to what you can do with that particular one. It worked. For me, that's all I need. Hey, it's an old timer, very traditional look, very common. So, hey, what can I say? Works for me, and hey, it came with a sheath. How much did I pay for this and this? That much. Not bad. You know, it's got a little things on it that need to be fixed. Is it a big deal? It worked for me. That's all I need a knife for. Just saying. You all be safe out there, especially when you're out here doing things like this. Remember, always be safe and never cut towards yourself. Don't use any part of your body as a brace. Just saying, always be safe out there. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. Got some other stuff I'm working on. Like I said, I'm working on a project. That was for one of the projects I'm working on. Got some ideas I want to do. I had some great ideas come from you guys, and I thought I need to put that together. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.